Well, give it your best shot. It might be all we've got. Lucky it rained then.
Yeah.
Well, they got through this easy enough, didn't they? Nice clean job.
Well, they must have copped a load of this stuff, Gov, getting it out.
Yeah, you got to admire them, though, haven't you?
Sorry?
Well, they cracked more than your safe, didn't they? You can get sophisticated devices nowadays, Mr. Parfit. Like light sensors activated by the body's heat, fixed video cameras.
Yeah, well, we've got those, Inspector.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had some trouble with them. My assistant manager was supposed to get them fixed.
Is it usual for you to keep that much money in a safe?
We've had a promotion on this week. Slashed our prices. We've been overrun with people. And then tomorrow's payday. Most people prefer cash. They even took a dozen £10 packs of fillet steak.
You think Parfit was more worried about this than the cash?
Yeah, well, it takes some people like that. They block out the big things by concentrating on the trivia.
Done a course, have you, Gov?
Don't talk to me about courses, Jim.
The Soccer's taking a look at the trolleys parked out the back. I reckon they could have used one of them to shift the safe.
Right. Well, I think I'll leave things here in your capable hands at the moment, Ted.
If you must.
I'll go back to base and collate the evidence.
It should take all of 30 seconds.
What was the name of that security guard you interviewed, Sarge?
Stubbs. Brian Stubbs. He might as well have been having a kip for all he saw. At about 4 o'clock this morning, or maybe later, his dog started barking. It was just in time to see a blue hatchback disappear into the distance. Of course, it was too far away to get any sort of number.
Why would they use a hatchback? You need a van for a safe like that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Stubbs got the bullet for this.
Oh, I don't know. It just happens he shares a surname with the assistant manager, who happens not to have got the security cameras fixed.
You're not just a pretty face, are you, James?
Ah, Mr. Stubbs. Would you sit down, please? I'm DC Carver. I just wanted to ask you a few more questions.
Yeah.
I just had a fiddle with your monitors. No joy, I'm afraid.
I told the other one there was a problem.
One among many, Mr. Stubbs. That cap come with the job, does it?
Yeah.
We're rather interested, Mr. Stubbs, in the circumstances in which you were given your job.
How do you mean?
Well, to put it bluntly, do you think you got the job on your own merits?
Yeah, I did.
It's got nothing to do with the fact that your uncle is the assistant manager. What work had you done previously?
I worked in a chicken factory.
And that was security work, was it?
No, that was plucking chickens.
Camping out now, Ray? Times must be desperate.
Conveyancing's down, nobody moves anymore, so we all turn to crime. All right, Narika.
No, not really. Look, I'm going to sit in the car.
Heavy night.
Some sort of brandy punch. You waiting for the call?
Oh, I've had the call. A couple of lads just smashed up a chip shop in the precinct.
So get in there.
Your sergeant has just informed me that he's not ready to interview them yet. He doesn't seem concerned that I'm kept hanging around. Time is money, I felt constrained to say. Has he ever been known to smile?
When you bring suspects back here, young, be they armed robbers or a couple of punters chucking chips about, you do not ask them to empty their pockets when the custody sergeant is absent from the custody suite. Is that clear?
I was just trying to speed.
What you do is wait until the custody sergeant has returned and is ready to order and subsequently witness the removal of items from pockets.
Sergeant Penny okayed it when we were under pressure.
Our problem is these, young, you see?
I took them off him.
You sure about that? You didn't by any chance decide to beef up the charge sheet, did you? Oh, not very exciting, is it? A lot of chip throwing on the precinct, even if it might amount to a Section 2 of the Public Order Act. Let's throw in a spot of going equipped to steal cars, shall we? Plant this lot on him. If that brief who was in here just now sniffs this out, we're in trouble.
Ray Baker, no problem, Sarge. I know there's some that would be down on us like a ton of
We
bricks,
do not take favours from briefs, young.
I know, but...
We get things right.
We're looking for a blue hatchback, $250,000 in cash, and a dozen £10 packs of fillet steak.
Some chance.
Yes, Can I have your name,
what
please,
colour?
sir? So you think he's still got the stuff on him, do you? Dando. Frank
Sort of brown.
Dando. So where can we find him? Bailey
What do you mean by
House. Okay, fine. Well, we'll send someone along. Thanks very much for your help, sir.
So who's he fingered?
Frank Dando.
Don't ring a bell.
Well, the caller says if we're interested in recovering one galley tray, a canteen of cutlery, and 70 quid, we ought to send someone around to Bailey House auction rooms ASAP.
What's it?
It's the trash and treasure job, Gov.
It's that second-hand shop that got done last night just round the corner from the market. Forensics say they've got a near-perfect set of shoe prints.
Well, did you think it was $250,000?
Hey, you. What do you think you're doing? Oh, George.
I didn't do it. Don't you go laying it on me.
Well, yeah, OK. What do you think you were doing, sticking your arm in? Think you were going for a joyride? You know, you could have cut yourself.
I was after the meat.
What? How long's that been in there?
I don't know. Ain't seen it before.
Yeah, all right, George. Sierra Oscar and 171.
Checking this with the auctioneer. He says that lots 147 and 148, namely one galley tray and one canteen of cutlery, owned by that gentleman over there. A certain Mr. Franklin Winston Dando.
What's a galley tray?
It's got like high sides to it. They use them on ships or something. Stop the brandy bottles going for a burn. That right, Mr. Dando?
Sorry?
It is Mr. Frank Dando, is it?
That's right.
We're very interested in the two items you have up for auction this afternoon.
I'm sorry they're spoken for.
That's a pity. Really took a fancy, didn't I, Norika?
Yeah, you did.
Still, maybe I can see what they're asking for them when they're back at Trash and Treasure. I'm arresting you on suspicion of theft, Mr. Dando. I should warn you that anything you say will be taken down and may be used in evidence.
Well, it's not that different.
But it's different.
Until we get the plaster casts over, it's impossible to be 100% sure.
Well, the meat's from the same batch.
Oh, that's nice of them to leave us a trail. Did anyone see the motor being dumped?
Carver's still checking with the residents from the block of flats. According to the DVLC, it's registered with a hire company.
3 roll-ups, 1 king-size filter, trace of lipstick on the filter.
What?
Oh, and one other thing. Shouldn't the whole back floor be covered with concrete dust?
Right, Mr. Dando. I'd like you to empty your pockets, if you would.
Look, somebody gave me those things to sell for them, Sergeant. I didn't know there was anything wrong.
And your watch, please. You can have most of this stuff back once you sign the record. Have you got any more money? It's 4 £10 notes. 57p in coins. We'll take your shoes once you're in the cell, Mr. Dando.
What?
I believe some footprints were found at the scene of the crime. Anything wrong, sir?
Oh, just trying to remember when I last changed my socks.
Well, it's about the blue estate that's been traced to this address, Mrs.
Henchard. Call me Joyce. You just tell them. Joyce wants a word when you find them. They did the dirty on us, all right.
Sorry?
The ones that dumped the car. Well, that is who you're here about, isn't it?
Oh, so you know him then?
I'll say I do.
So you could give us a description?
Well, she'd kind of blonde, curly hair, very badly permed.
Sorry?
Wait till you see the way they left that place. It's disgusting. I like references before I hand out a rent book.
So the ones who dumped the car rented a flat from you?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple actually over on the estate. Spent a fortune doing them up. I said to Eddie, I said, no, they've got 3 kids, all under 5, but she was all over him, of course. It was Eddie this and Eddie that.
So how long's the car been sat there, then?
Well, don't ask me. It wasn't theirs, of course. Hire company's been on to me as well.
Where did they leave?
Don't you mean? About 3 weeks ago. I said to Eddie, I said to
And
him,
I suppose fillet steak wasn't on their menu.
they'd a fish finger in the cupboard, I'd be surprised.
Thank you, Mr. Dando.
My pleasure.
So you fixed him up with a brief, did you, Stan?
Oh, right. Told you, did he? I just mentioned in the car over that I could give Baker a call. Dando didn't seem to know the ropes. Just went on about how he'd never been in trouble before.
Baker?
Yeah, Ray Baker. He was in earlier on a public order charge.
Oh, him.
Yeah. Well, he never gives us any aggro, does he? Sergeant Penny used him a lot.
Did he?
Yeah. As good as gold is Ray. And he'll tell Dando to score. I mean, there's some briefs that like dragging things out. It's a bit of an ego boost, to be honest. And a waste of taxpayers' money. I mean, what's this Dando character got going for him? I fancy putting the stuff in an auction.
Yeah, we'll let Mr. Baker decide what he's got going for him, shall we, Stamp? That's what he gets paid for, after all. And time is money, as he reminded me. Afraid he lost the lads that did the chip shop, though. Seemed they went for another brief. Do you think they heard that Mr. Baker was as good as gold?
Right. So, let's get this show on the road.
Well, it's not much of a show, actually. I don't think it'll test your incredible legal expertise.
Oh, well, so long as I can put in a claim for interview at police station. Cheers. Anyway, what happened about the chip shop boys? No one's got back to me.
Evidently, they've got themselves fixed up with another brief. Some woman in a Burberry. Seems that one of them's been with us since he chucked his first gravy and chips.
Oh, well, that's how it goes. Right. So it's down to you two.
Well, like I said, it's not very exciting. Frank Dando, break-in at a second-hand shop, the trash and treasure.
I'll get all the classy stuff.
Oh, you were there last week, weren't you?
There was a girl there.
Yeah.
You got it, didn't you?
Glyn, have I done something with him?
Mr. Baker?
That's right, we met this morning.
Your client's waiting, cell 2.
So that's it then. Exhibit A. One tar print. Possibly connected with a getaway car, possibly not. Terrific.
Well, even with his record, I don't reckon Stubbs anymore.
Well, let's put the lid on that then.
Might be worth looking into Parfitt's financial situation.
Insurance fiddle?
It's worth a go. Funny, after dealing with Parfitt today, I started getting this small voice inside my head saying that he deserved to get well and truly done.
My client is now ready to be interviewed.
Gonna nod to it, is he?
I have to say he's got very little alternative. So, where would you like to stick us, Sergeant?
I'm afraid I'm not happy, Mr. Baker.
Sorry?
I require further investigations to be made. Would you like to take a seat?
How long is all this likely to take?
How long is a piece of string, sir?
I'll get back to the office then. Give me a call when you're ready.
Come on, Sarge, what's the problem? Dando's going to put his hands up to the burglary. We could be all out of here and back on the street.
You are back out on the street, Stamp. There, I've just told you.
But what's the point?
2 things. No, 3 things worry me about this. 1, why didn't Dando ask how we got onto him? And 2, why was he wearing size 12 shoes when, despite his size, is almost certainly a size 9?
What's the other thing, Sarge?
The other thing, Data, is I don't like tame briefs.
Yes?
I'm sorry to bother you, Mrs...
Millet.
Mrs. Millet. We were just making...
Has somebody died?
No, don't worry. No, nothing like that. We were just making some inquiries about a Mr. Frank Dando. He gave this as his address.
Oh, Frank!
He does live here, then?
Well, off and on. When he's in the area, he always pops in. Mind, I haven't seen him for weeks.
So what, he just rents a room, does he?
Oh, I've always got a room for Frank. He's got a real way with him. He can have you in stitches as soon as look at you. Why do you want him, anyway?
What's this bloke's name? Excuse me. It's about Frank Dando, Mr.
Price. Terry Price.
What's your job here, Mr. Price?
I'm like the caretaker. I see to things.
Do you live on the premises?
Yeah. Downstairs. But what's all this about it?
Do you think we could go there, have a chat?
Well, I just don't see how I can help you.
We're simply trying to get a fuller picture of Mr. Dando.
Hardly know him. Only through him wanting to sell a bit of stuff. We never knew it was what you call hot. Is that the word?
We wouldn't suggest that you did, Mr. Price.
Is that you, Terry?
Yeah.
Tea's nearly ready.
It's simply a question of...
Oh.
That looks nice. You won't mind if I take a look in your freezer?
Where's your warrant?
It's just that you could help us with something else.
What's she mean? Terry, what's going on?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Do a lot of shopping at the cash and carry, do we?
Tony! Oh, hi. Just thought I'd drop in and see if there was any movement on Dando.
I don't know what's happening, actually. We think we pulled a chap who did the cash and carry, so we're sorting that.
What? You're joking? Don't tell me you're finding with the cash still on him.
Afraid not. But he was caught in flagrante with a fillet steak.
Oh. They have to live something beside the cash, don't they? Greed, it's called. Right, there's one chap did a job at a butcher.
Yeah, look, Ray, I'll see you shortly.
Right. Fine.
Might as well call it a day, eh?
You reckon?
Well, Burnside has. What can we do for you, Norika?
It's more a case of what I can do for you.
Really? What is that?
Dinner. I'm afraid we had the rest in sandwiches.
Like I said, I just had it off someone.
Didn't fall off the back of a lorry, then?
Look, this bloke that comes round, parks his van round the corner. He said it was a special offer. Said he wanted to make, like, a quick sale or something. Wife's very partial to fillet.
What sort of van?
Green.
A green van? You sure it wasn't red?
Green.
Oh, so Postman Pat wasn't sitting up in the front seat, then? So, tell me about this bloke, Mr. Price. Describe him for me, if you would.
He had a bit of a northern accent.
Well, that's very helpful, Mr. Price. Only it's all a pack of lies, isn't it, Terry? Because you lifted this meat, together with a safe containing $250,000 held by person or persons unknown, from a cash and carry on Briary Hill Industrial Estate.
You got a fag?
Always carry some, just for occasions like this.
Yeah, OK, I'll go guilty. I'm not copping that lot.
Sorry? Did I hear you correctly? Are you prepared to plead guilty to the theft of $250,000?
No way! I'm pleading guilty to the theft of a galley tray, canteen of cutlery and 70 quid from Trash and Treasure on Market Street.
We've already got someone for that, haven't we?
Oh, well, I'm not pleading guilty to nothing.
I'm afraid we need your room, Mr. Dando.
My pleasure, Sergeant. Be my guest.
Like another chat with your solicitor?
No real need, is there? I've already said I'd admit to...
Sorry, Frank.
Don't forget to pick up your shoes before you leave.
I've got my shoes.
I mean, the ones you lent Dando so the prints would match. Yes. This way, please, Mr. Dando.
What's this thing with Dando's shoes?
No, don't rush me. I'm getting there. I think.
This is an interview between Franklin Winston Dando and Detective Sergeant Roach. Also present is Detective Constable Carver.
Now, I hear you already have a solicitor, Mr. Baker.
I shall contact my regular advisor if the need arises.
I see, right. Now, you tell me if I've got it right.
Well, you tell me. It's more than possible.
You do the big job at the cash and carry, held by a person or persons unknown, while Mr. Price does a bungled burglary at the Trash and Treasure. Now, what could possibly be the connection between these two offences, you might ask? Both happened at roughly the same time on the same night, but in a different part of town, of course. What else? Well, obviously both are burglaries. But one is major and one is minor. One carries a possible 14-year sentence, the other probably considerably less. In fact, If the guilty party held up his hand a bit sharpish, he might get away with 3 months suspended. Especially if the guilty party, like you, Mr. Dando, have had no previous.
I've led a very upright life, Sergeant.
That's because you've never been caught before.
Oh, I bet you couldn't wait for the old bill to plod up to you at the auction, eh? OK, Gov, it's a fair cop. Let's get it over. Because once the judge had handed you your couple of months suspended, there is no way that we could come back to you again for the job on the cash and carry. It would have been champagne all the way, wouldn't it, Mr. Dando?
I'm not over fond of champagne.
What a nice touch that was, eh? The pack of meat chucked into the back of somebody's dumped car. Oh, yeah, that was a masterstroke. Of course, you still haven't told us where you dumped the money.
I think I'd like my brief now, Sergeant, if you've no objection.
For you, Mr. Dando, we'll even sort out a pair of shoes.
We got the right charge on there this time, Sergeant.
Amazingly enough, Tony, we've even got the right name. We're finally getting there.
Look, sorry. Would someone mind telling me what's happening with Dando?
Mr. Dando is currently being interviewed.
He's what? Why wasn't I told?
Seems he's got a regular solicitor, Mr. Baker. Call's been made to his office.
But it's a straight guilty plea. What's the point of going around the houses, wasting valuable time?
I'm sure my officers will explain it all to you, if you'll excuse me.
What's he on about?
I'll just go and sort out those shoes, Tom, right?
Next time you come to the station, make sure you report to the front office first.
It's getting to be a bit of a habit, isn't it? I mean, I've just lost another client.
Dando didn't do the trash and treasure job.
But he told me
he was too busy doing the cash and carry at the time.
What?
He thought we'd provide him with an alibi. If Maitland hadn't put the brakes on, we would have done.
Well, well. Just goes to show, eh? Mind you, come to think of it, I do remember another case.
I'm sorry.
Tell me something, Tony. Do I ever make trouble around this place?
No.
Take those chip shop lads. One of them said he'd had stuff taken off him when the custody sergeant wasn't present. Included amongst which was a bunch of 32 car keys. Now, I could have kicked up a fuss over that, couldn't I? But no, I keep my mouth shut like I always do. Only it's not appreciated anymore, is it, Tony? Because even if you don't make trouble, certain people treat you like you're some kind of bad smell. Now, why is that, do you think?
Maybe because you're supposed to make trouble.